Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi friends and students. Today in this video, I'm going to demonstrate you how you can improve your vocabulary building, right? So here, if you see in English language, we have two main portions. They are vocabulary and grammar. Now we spend much time on learning grammatical stuff, but we don't spend time or we don't put effort for improving our vocabulary, right? With grammar alone, we cannot speak in English. If we want to fluently speak in English, we have to improve our vocabulary as much as we can, right? So every day, at least we have to study one word. And then only we can become fluent in English. Otherwise, we will be fumbling whenever we try to speak in English. So basically, vocabulary means all the words that a person knows or uses, right? So with wide vocabulary only, we can improve our spoken English and we can get rid of our fear. If we know more words, then we can improve our public speaking also. Now, with that idea, I'm going to tell you how you can improve your English language, right? So for everyone, the learning method might be different, but this is how I learn English every day, right? Okay, now I will just tell you through reading how you can improve your English language, right? So, for example, in English language, we have four main skills. They are speaking and writing. They are called productive skills, and we have receptive skills also. They are reading and listening. Now, through reading only, we can improve our English. Whatever we see, we have to read, and whenever we read, we will encounter new words. Then whenever we encounter new words, we have to look up in the dictionary for their meanings, and we have to study like in this way. Now here you see, you might have seen this man on YouTube, right? So while I was watching his video, I saw a new word. Then I took a screenshot and inserted on PowerPoint, and I looked up in the dictionary for the meaning, and I typed the meaning here so that I can learn later also, right? So here, sitting at a desk, hunched over trying to figure stuff out. So here I didn't know the meaning of the word hunch. So I looked up in the Oxford Dictionary and I typed whatever given in the meaning, okay, given in the dictionary as meaning and some example sentences. So hunch means to bend the top part of your body forward and raise your shoulders and back, right? So to bend your body is called hunching, right? So she leaned forward, hunching over the desk. So if you look at this picture, this girl is writing something on the desk. So to write, she is bending her body. So she leaned forward, hunching over the desk. So this is the picture of this sentence. Then if you look at the second example, he hunched his shoulders and thrust his hands deep into his pockets. Now, okay, if you don't know the word lean, now what you have to do is, again, you have to find the meaning of lean, right? So in the second slide, I have inserted the meaning of this word lean. Now you can see an interesting picture also. Now this lady is sleeping on this man's shoulder. Then she is leaning, right? She is bending her body, right? So we can say the lady is traveling peacefully on the bus by leaning on her husband's shoulder. Likewise, we can make sentence also. Now you see here, lean means to bend or move from a vertical position. So from a vertical position, so you know vertical means a straight position. So this is normally we say vertical and this is horizontal, right? So this is horizontal and this is vertical. Now from a vertical position, if we move or bend, so move means from this vertical position, if the position is like this or if this is like this, we say lean. I leaned back in my chair. Now in the chair, okay, if this is the chair, we have to sit straightwards. But due to tiredness or some other reasons, we might lean backward, means to take some breath or to feel comfortable, we may bent backwards, right? So in that case, we can use this sentence. I leaned back in my chair. Then the second example is the tower is leaning dangerously. Means the tower is going to fall, right? Because it's leaning. A tower is supposed to be vertical, but if it is leaning, if it is inclined, if it is slightly inclined, we can tell that it's going to fall. Now, this is a dangerous scenario. Now, the third one is a man was leaning out of the window to see someone or to call someone. Sometimes while some people might be peeping. So in that case, we have to lean out of the window, right? So we have to lean out of the window mean we have to bend from a vertical position through the window. Then the second meaning is to rest on or against something for support. For support, right? For support. To rest. To rest for support on or against something. Now, by looking at the example, we can easily understand the meaning of that word. A shovel was leaning against the wall. So you can see this picture. A shovel is leaning against the pillar here, right? Here, this is not wall, this is a pillar. Now we have supported the shovel on the pillar. So we can say a shovel was leaning against the wall. Then the second one is she walked slowly, leaning on her son's arm. An old woman is walking with her son, and for comfort, she is leaning on her son's arm. Now, okay. Now, if you look at this picture, right, this lady is peacefully traveling on the bus with her husband leaning on her shoulder. So we can tell the lady is traveling is traveling peacefully by bus with her husband or with her husband or boyfriend by leaning on his shoulder. Likewise, we can make sentences, right? Okay. Now we will move to the previous slide. Okay, so what I wanted to teach you is the meaning of the word lean. Now we will again go to the previous slide. Okay. Right. Now, if you look at the second one, he hunched his shoulders and thrust his hands deep into his pockets. Now, if we want to take something out of our pocket, we have to insert our hands into our pockets. In that scenario, in that situation, our shoulders might bend. So that's what they are telling. He hunched his shoulders. He bended his shoulders and thrust. Then the next word that we have to look at is thrust his hands deep into his pockets, right? So we will now see what is the meaning of the word thrust. Now, as you already know, thrust means the force that is produced by an engine to push a plane, rocket, etc. forward. Now, you might have studied about thrust in physics, right? So here you see uh, a force that drives this plant forward is called thrust. Then the second meaning is to push somebody or something suddenly or violently in a particular direction, to move quickly or suddenly in a particular direction. So if you look at these example sentences, he thrust the baby into my arms and ran off. So one person put the baby into her arms and he ran off. So that is this. So moving silent, moving violently, right? So moving suddenly or violently is called this thrust. Then the second example, she thrust her hand into her pockets. So she inserted. So like my she inserted her hands into her pockets. Now, if you look at this picture, I am thrusting my hand into my pockets. So I can make a sentence like this. I always thrust my hands into my pockets whenever I pause for a video. Whenever I pause for a video. Right. Now the letters are hiding behind the pictures. Now let me copy this. Okay. Now I will use the text tool to type this sentence. Right. I always thrust my hands into my pockets whenever I pose for a photo, right? I pose for a photo. I pose for photos. So here I have constructed a sentence. How I always thrust my hands into my pockets whenever I pose for photos. Now this is a simple sentence. Right. Now we will again move to the previous slide to continue the word that we are studying as. Okay, hunch. Now a hunched figure means that is not straight. For example, sometimes some statues are hunched. Okay. Then if you look at this picture, now here, this picture is extracted from iMovie. Now here Vikram is there and he is lifting Amy Jackson. Now she's actually a hunched figure, right? So she's bended her body. Then if you look at the next sentence, he said hunched over his breakfast. He said hunched over his breakfast, which means for eating his breakfast, he is bending his body, right? So that is the meaning of that sentence. Okay. Now we will go to the next slide. Right. Thrust. So we have already studied the first meaning of the word thrust, and we looked at this second sentence also. Now we have learned this sentence, this word also. Okay, now we will see explicit and implicit. I think it is enough for today, and we will learn these words in tomorrow's or in another video. Okay. So thank you. Bye.